Hello, and welcome to Elantum Digital's Publishing by the Numbers, where we help authors and self-publishers create quality books and build successful self-publishing businesses.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Publishing by the Numbers podcast. It is somewhere close to Christmas time, I believe. Isn't that right, ladies? Somewhere close to Christmas time. I'm Jana S. Brown. I'm Jana S. Brown, and I'm here with my two delightful co-hosts, Virginia Anderson and CJ Anaya. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
And we are on podcast number 11. And this one, according to my chart here, corresponds with either the 18th or 19th of December, depending on where you are in the world, our friends who are living in the future. And this is our holiday podcast. I will have it noticed that I am the only one who dressed up for it, but it's still our holiday podcast.
I'm wearing green.
Yeah, okay, green. I'll give you that far.
Christmas green. Well, give me that. Yeah.
I'll give that to you. And Virginia's just going to make faces at us. And
yeah.
So we do want this to be a fun episode. We're going to talk a little bit about some of our very favorite Christmas media. But before we do that, we're going to tackle something that is a kind of serious publishing topic for the holidays. And there's two parts of this. And here's the very first one, which is, should you publish during the holidays, or is this a no publishing zone? Virginia, what do you think?
I'm of the view that you should publish anytime your book is ready. Just publish it. I don't care that there's going to be a million other books coming out there. I'm ready. I'm going to publish it. It's already hard enough for me to get there. So if I'm like, oh, let's just wait until things calm down, I might never push that button. So let's just go for it. Let's do it. Yes, the competition will be stronger, but also the buyers are also really looking into buying, books for as Christmas gift, as holiday season gift, and because of the holiday, there's more time to read as well. So I wouldn't wait. If you have your book ready, go for it. I know that this is not particularly specific to Christmas, but I know that some of you, if you say, I think Dane mentioned the example that if you're writing horror and there's a book that comes up on Halloween Day by Stephen King, you might not want to release yours. I don't know. I still think that it's okay because it's just one book, right? It's not like you're buying a kitchen table. You buy one and you're done. After this book, there's always another one that you want to read. If this is your genre, if it is something that you're passionate about, if that's something that bring your escapism, then I think it's still okay. It's like there's the new Harry the Prince. Is he still a prince? I don't know. But his new book is his book is coming up in January. So you might think, oh, let's not release any book at that time because this is going to be the book that everyone will be talking about. But I still think it's just one book amongst, millions of people who want to read books. So, and honestly, I'm not the target audience. So I don't see any issues. I'm not afraid of the competition. So the very short answer to your question is I would publish when I'm ready, even if it's holiday season.
What do you think, CJ? Do you have a counterpoint?
No, I think I'm in agreement with that. I would definitely publish and just be slightly strategic about the day around the holidays, maybe not on Christmas Day specifically, just because I want to spend it with family and not worry about having to publish something on Christmas Day. But there are other holidays on the day that you can publish something. And I'm not talking about the usual holidays that we think of. I'm talking about like National Cookie Day or National Oreo Day. If that's not a holiday, it really needs to be. Please tell me that National Oreo Day is a holiday. But there are all sorts of tie-ins that you can bring. There's got to be some kind of daily holiday, some type of fun little holiday that ties in with your book in some way. And you can use that. You really can use that to market and to make that something that's fun and to inform people. So I know a cozy mystery writer, a culinary cozy mystery writer. She hits on all of those holidays that involve food in some way, that celebrate cookies or celebrate ice cream or something like that. And she uses that to inform people about those holidays, to give them a recipe and then to market her books for those days. And I think that's brilliant. And then of course it works really well for, Thanksgiving and December. But yeah, absolutely publish when you're ready. Be strategic about it when it comes to holidays. See what you can tie in that makes it relevant to your book and go from there.
Yeah.
The internet tells me that March 6th is actually National Oreo Day.
Oh my God.
So put it on your calendar.
So
I cannot believe this is actually a thing.
It is a thing. March 6th is National Oreo Day.
This summarizes everything that's wrong with this word. What do you think, Jenna? Do you agree, or you have some caveat that you want to?
No huge caveats. I think it is really easy to think, well, there's only a couple of big holidays, but I was listening to another podcast and they're like, from the beginning of November to the first of the year, there's like 14 major holidays. And so depending on where you are in the world, the holidays are going to fall different, religious beliefs, all that kind of thing. So there is always somebody looking for a good book. And I remember a friend of mine was talking about doing one of these holidays over at his in-laws' house. And he was sitting on the stairs trying to avoid his in-laws and needed something to do. So he pulled out his tablet and started buying books. And that was how he whiled away the hours while everything else was going on, was sitting on the staircase reading books. So he is not the only one. My husband classically does this anytime we go to someplace where there's too much chaos. He is such an introvert that too many people just shuts him down. And you will find him in the corner with his nose in a book. And so I think it's a great time to get more of those books out. You just have to be prepared for the idea that the competition is going to be stiffer and marketing is going to be more expensive. So maybe you're not going to market it to the nines. Maybe you'll do that big marketing push after the holidays and just let the holidays kind of carry the book for then and then push. And that's okay. But you do need to have a plan if you're going to publish going into the holidays, in my opinion, so that you kind of know, okay, well, what am I going to do about that? Which leads us right into, so if I'm going to sell during the holidays, I've got a book published, and maybe it's not even a new one. Maybe I've got a book that's been hanging out for a while, and I think, gosh, Black Friday, which in the US is the day after Thanksgiving, and we all go nuts and spend crap tons of money. And then Cyber Monday, the following Monday, because we haven't had enough of spending on Friday, we do it some more on Monday. And it's kind of spreading to involve other countries too. So anyway, there's lots of buying that goes on. So if we're going to do that, what are the pros of selling during this time? I think we've touched on them briefly, but let's dig in just a little bit more. Why would you want to, put yourself through this?
I think it has a lot to do with taking advantage of this impetus or this desire to spend money, to purchase gifts, but also to do it at a discount. I think that there's an opportunity to move more books and sell more books, even if you are spending a little bit more when it comes to marketing. And it's just fun. It's fun to involve the subscribers on your newsletter. It's fun to have little gifts or discounts going during the holidays to surprise them, to build buzz around them, or to build buzz around a new book coming out in a series, for example. Especially if you can release around Christmas and promise them that it's like your own Christmas present to them. Yay! And that's just one example. So I think why it's worth it has a lot to do with just, how challenging yourself when it comes to sales. Also, just the idea of publishing, even when you think maybe it's not a good time to publish. We don't ever want you to hold off on publishing if that book's ready to go. And if it's just a mental game for you, we want you to get that book out there, especially if you've got some plans in place. So I think it's relevant and worthwhile, especially because then you can build momentum and build those sales and start testing Amazon ads and start collecting data and doing all sorts of things. But if you wait a couple of months just to get through, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, any other of those major holidays that people are celebrating around this time of year, if you're just trying to get through that to the new year, and then you're like, now I'm going to publish, you've lost a lot of momentum and opportunity. You've lost some time, and you've lost some, I would say, Amazon ad data, because I'm always thinking about Amazon ads and what I can do with Amazon ads in the time that I have. So that's where my brain goes. Do you have anything, Virginie?
Yeah, I think it's also a good opportunity or excuse to revive some of the older books that have gone into a bit of the, like, I'm now really thinking about it. This is what we said in on another episode. It's the beauty with book. It never expires. So why always trying to create something new when you have those great books in your back catalog that you can add, you can do something to it and create maybe like a limited edition, like I don't know, a Cyber Monday, is that the thing?
Mm-hmm.
Cyber Monday special limited edition, just available for during that period. Just create that buzz, like to kind of connect people to the older books. So I think it's any excuse is good to just kind of get some of those older books to move.
And the last thing I'll add to that is, guys, it's fun to write about the holidays too. Lots of people write. Some of the top selling stuff around the holidays as far as book goes is Christmas romances and Christmas murder mysteries. So there you have the, kind of the two sides of the holidays. We must have our scary ghost stories, death thing, and our bright and shiny Hallmark. Everybody gets together and we all go to a small town and have a Christmas parade. And there's some cute small child and a dog and a man in plaid and some, woman executive who's come home to her small town, and there's going to be a romance there. That's every Hallmark ever, with slight differences. And they do that for Thanksgiving too. I saw one on the Hallmark channel as I was, skimming by, and it was like, Thanksgiving in our small town or whatever. It's like, yeah, that looks like it's Hallmark Christmas. So those can be fun to write about. Yes, there's a Hallmark channel. It plays Hallmark movies all the time.
Sorry, Virginie,
all romance all the time.
That there's I'm hurt.
Well, again, this just summarizes everything that's wrong with this word, but okay, keep going. Proceed.
So that is a thing to think about as authors and self-publishers, and publishers in general, is there's a lot of things we can write that go right into the holidays, whether it's that kind of thing where our characters are celebrating stuff in fiction, or there's always a huge demand for things like how to organize your Thanksgiving dinner, how to not strangle your family during this holiday. All of those kinds of nonfiction books always see a nice boost. And so if you already got that book out, like Virginie says, this is a great time to put some oomph behind it and remind everybody, hey, I wrote a book on how to make 24 pies in 72 hours. I really should write that book. That would be cool. Because I make a lot of...
That's crazy.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I make somewhere between 20 and 25 pies between Tuesday, or usually it's Monday and Wednesday. And then I finish off a couple things on Thursday. So yes, I could totally do 24 pies in 72 hours.
I would buy that book.
That would be fun. But that would be a fun book for this kind of time, because people are thinking, I'm going to be making these things. I'm going to be organizing. I'm going to be dealing with Christmas decor. I need ideas for the kids. All of those nonfiction books always see an uplift, and you can be part of that uplift to say, yeah, I have a book about doing any of those things, and they get a nice uplift as well as all of the things that are holiday themed. So that's another great reason to sell during the holidays, is to latch on to those themes that are already in your books and ride the uplift. So, and I think we have a couple of other questions on our list here, but I think we've kind of touched on, the cons of doing it, that there is the competition. Also, I would say, I'm tired. I just told you I make 24 pies, and then there's kids, and there's gingerbread houses, and there's family, and there's sometimes the overwhelm is a good reason not to do this? That maybe you take the holidays and you say, this is when I'm going to back off a little bit. Any other reasons you would say maybe not do it?
It's not so much not do it. It's whether because you cannot do this if you don't plan. You have to plan ahead of time. So if you're like, Thanksgiving is in 2 days. What books am I going to launch? No, you can't do that. So you have to plan ahead of time. So if you're not really a planner, this might not be something that you want to do, because that will add another level of angst and another level of, like, oh my God. I know some people, it's just the very word planning is a swear word for them. So you got to know yourself if that's something that you think you're going to enjoy. Like CJ mentioned, it got to be fun. If there's no joy, no fun in whatever you do, what's the point? And this is a little bit the reason why we want to do this podcast. Is we enjoy doing it. We want to give you valuable information, but at the same time, I can tell you we are having a lot of fun. So if it's like, oh my God, holy moly, I have to do this, then I think just don't go through this pain.
Well, then let's scoot on to the next part, to the central part of our well, not even the central part, but the biggest part of what we want to talk about. And this is the fun part. So what are some of your favorite holiday movies? Let's start with the bigger media. So movies, television shows, that kind of consumable media, and then we'll talk books next. Are there any things that it's like, this is the must watch that has to happen this time of year?
Well, we're all about tradition. And so the traditional things that we watch always are Peanuts Christmas. I mean, if we don't do that, then it may as well be sacrilegious. I mean, you just cannot watch that, not in my house. So, and then, just those really fun cartoons. The Santa Claus is also a good one. Polar Express is a great one. And then for the first time ever, I think it was 2 years ago, I think I watched Bad Moms Christmas. I have not laughed like that, because it was this, usually you watch Hallmark Christmas things and you see everything all perfect. In this movie, everything was falling apart. Everything that could go wrong should go wrong. And it spoke to me on a mom level that I just thought, someone gets me. So I really found that to be quite hilarious, watching that Bad Moms Christmas movie. Oh, that was good stuff. But those are kind of my go-tos. What about you guys?
Can I just say everything you just said? I have no idea what you just said.
I know. Again, we go back to the fact that she knows nothing about Charlie Brown, about Snoopy, about Linus and his blanket. It hurts me on so many levels, and it makes me really want to fly to Australia like ASAP. It needs to happen, because she's never seen these shows.
And Lucy is like her spiritual sister.
Right? I was just going to say she would find so much that she could relate to with Lucy and love her dearly.
Well, anyway, don't tell me.
We will introduce you.
We'll have you look it up.
So yeah. So when we were preparing this podcast, I was like trying really hard to think about a Christmas movie. Not that even it's an absolute must, because let me just put it to you right now. There's nothing that's an absolute must Christmas movie in my book at all. I have a lot of thoughts about Christmas as a holiday thing. I'm going to keep them to myself, because I feel like I'm going to be the party pooper. So, but I was just thinking really, 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 really hard. The only one that I can think of that's a Christmas movie that I've actually watched is Love Actually.
Oh, that's a
good one. That's a good one.
It's
a romance.
Oh, I mean, I know the title. It doesn't mean that I know what's actually happening in there.
Oh, but you haven't actually watched it, is what you're saying.
I just know the song, I think.
Right. Okay, so you know the title, but you haven't seen it. That tracks. All right, and all is right with the world. Thank you.
What about you, Jenna?
We echo CJ, and I think some of this is having kids. So we have to watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And see, that's another one, Virginia, you'd love, because the Grinch is right up your alley. Goes and steals Christmas from everybody else and runs away with it. See, it would make you so happy. It's Dr. Seuss. I mean, how could that not be good?
I like it. He is one of my very favorite characters from Dr. Seuss book. So I have to say, he's very dear to me. This character.
And you could watch Halloween is Grinch Night, which is a holiday, and again, it's Dr. Seuss, and it's all about the Grinch enjoying Halloween and doing his Grinchy stuff. So you've got those. Okay, I have to put the plug in for Die Hard. Whether
yes,
Die Hard is totally a Christmas movie.
That.
There's got to be some Die Hard going on.
Yep.
Virginia's making faces again. Die Hard is an action adventure movie. It does take place during Christmas, though, and if you haven't seen Hans Gruber fall off of the building, has it really Christmas?
No, you're missing out. You have not lived. Oh my
it's
word!
Bruce Willis. It's you have to watch Die Hard. So Die Hard is a thing, and okay, I will admit this may be something I don't know if you girls even know this about me. I'm a sports nut, and so I watch football. I watch football all through Thanksgiving. That is, we eat our lunch and then we sack out and we watch football. I'm a New Orleans Saints girl. I used to be a Packers girl, but Aaron Rodgers has let me down one too many times, and so now I'm cheering for the Saints. And so we watch a lot of football. We are currently watching the World Series. That's part of our Halloween leading into November holidays. And I watch a crap ton of figure skating. I love figure skating. So there are a lot of sports that happen as my various holidays go through. And we have a tendency to watch, sometimes multiple games in a day. And it's tremendous.
Wow.
I love sports.
Christmas movie. Do you guys have this, Dr. Zhivago?
Dr. Zhivago, yeah.
That's a Christmas movie, right? And that would be in my alley because someone dies or someone's sick in there.
Yeah.
So that look my contribution.
Good job, V.
Yeah.
Everybody does the holidays in their own way.
It's really not. I mean, it's just not Christmas without a little, mayhem and murder, and it's fine.
Yeah, you have to. But yeah. So, okay. What about books?
Okay. I do a Christmas Carol every year, and we read the book, and then there is a theater in the round up here at the Hale Center Theater, and they do the most magnificent show of a Christmas Carol. And so we have to get our Ebenezer Scrooge and the whole 9 yards in. And so we both read the book, and then we'll go and see the production. And so that's a must.
I love that. I like to read. I have some romance writer friends who will always come out with cheesy, delicious, wonderful holiday rom-coms. And so that is, I purchase their books religiously every year when these books come out. I know exactly what I'm getting. I know there's going to be a happily ever after, and I read them like there's no tomorrow. I inhale those suckers like they're brownies, holiday brownies coming at me. And I just love it so much. So that is, I can't really specify any particular Christmas book, but I do follow specific authors and I love their stuff. So.
Okay. So this was a tough one because the problem is, I don't have a favorite holiday book because holiday for most people means, happy celebration. But all the books that I love, the constant theme is someone dies, there's going to be tears, and there's going to be some sad stuff going on. So I generally cannot find a holiday book because all my favorite books, someone die. Or someone it's like this impossibility of a relationship. And so what did you send me this morning, Jenna, that I thought that just summarized my love for sad stories. What was it?
Oh, that was Cinema Therapy.
Yeah,
Those guys
so
are hysterical.
there's a type of love that's only experienced through sadness, and there's a type of joy that's only experienced through grief. So it's not like I'm incapable of love or joy. It has to go through sadness and grief. So now
I love it.
Think of any holiday books that I would read again at every holiday season.
Well, all that means is that, challenge accepted. Now our listeners are going to go find a Christmas book or some Christmas story that is just devastating in its sadness. Someone's bound to die in a Christmas story. I just
during Christmas. Yeah. Yes.
They'll find you something and turn you on to that book, and then you'll be able to talk about it next year.
Yeah, people challenge.
All right, guys, you heard them. We're going to need some help here. You can
engage us with
put a comment here in the YouTube.
On the YouTube, on the YouTube channel. I love to get some recommendations.
We should have you read The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. That one's really funny too.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
it's way cute.
Book. It is.
I will
see the other recommendation. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say the first time I ever read that was actually read to me in 4th grade. Mr. Nelson, he read to us. He read that book during the holidays to us during school. It was fabulous. I love that book. So.
I think I'm just going to stick with Dr. Seuss and the Grinch. I think he is fabulous, and he's right up my alley. So I think I'm going to stick with him. Yeah.
So I think the other recommendation we need, because we're kind of showing our what are we going to call it, lack of multiculturalness here.
Yeah.
so hit us up with other holiday books that we should read about holidays that are not, the big ones that we talk about here in the States. It's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it's Hanukkah, it's that kind of thing. So what else are we missing out on that maybe we just haven't had an opportunity to encounter yet? So that's another great thing for the comments is let us know what else should we be reading that we're not reading. What holidays would be eye-opening to us to get a good book for, because maybe that's something else that would play to these strengths is find you a holiday that's got murder bots involved.
Oh,
I think the Simpsons
while you were
that.
sleeping. I'm sorry, I had to slide that one in there. You got to watch While You Were Sleeping. I know V hasn't seen this, but it's the best Christmas rom-com.
It is
ever.
really, really good.
You cannot go wrong with Sandra Bullock. You just can't.
Yeah.
You just stayed in a coma. You never wake up.
Never.
No, never.
Is that the story? Because I would go.
Well, one guy does. He wakes up at the end. Spoiler alert.
Oh no, waking up.
And it's very confusing for everybody and very traumatic.
Oh, okay. Now
I think you'd enjoy the chaos, V. You'd enjoy that.
There's a lot of chaos.
I do.
And then there's The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is arguably whether or not it's a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie. But that one has all sorts of chaos. Everything goes utterly, terrifically, fantastically wrong. They even blow Santa's sled right out of the sky. Spoiler alert. You'd like this. It's Tim Burton. It's creepy as all get out.
Oh, Tim Burton, I like him. Very quirky. I mean,
yes. My 9-year-old desperately wants to see it, so I think that's going to be somewhere here in the next few days. We're going to settle down and we're going to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas.
The must. It is.
It is. It's truly a good thing.
Okay, great.
So now we have a list, and now we have a challenge. And let's see, I think that's most of what we've got going on today. Anybody else have final words of wisdom to say before we move to our moment of irrelevancy?
I think if you have a book ready, just publish it. Just
take advantage of those holidays.
Don't overthink it, just publish it.
All right, so here's my irrelevant moment is by the time that this podcast comes out, we will be well into Christmas, and Christmas season is when I make candy, y'all. So if this year lines up like the other years have, by this point, I would have made about 35 pounds of fudge and 10 pounds of toffee, 3 to 5 pounds of divinity, and stacks of chocolates. So if you're hungry, come on by, because we do candy for Christmas. This is talking about traditions. This is a thing that we do. I had a great grandmother who worked for See's Chocolate and learned how to do all of these kinds of things, and then passed those recipes and those skills down. And so every year, that's our big. I mean, we do gingerbread houses for my dad, because my dad loves himself a gingerbread house. And then from my mom, we all learned how to make candy. And so we just make crap tons of candy. And that's what we give to our neighbors and work friends and all that kind of stuff. And so that's what I will be doing at this point is I will have chocolate well and truly embedded into my fingernails, and everything will smell wonderful. And so that's my irrelevant moment, is that I am in the middle of chocolate season and I couldn't be happier. All right, V.
Okay, so I like to think that I'm a very tenacious, and some might say that it's a bit obsessive. So then I mean, I don't know. I mean, is that a bad thing? I don't know. So this has been illustrated by two things that happened this week alone. So you know that I'm into this tennis outfit thing without knowing how to play tennis, but it's very important to have the right accessories and right outfit. So it's the third time that I'm returning the outfit that that I ordered, because I'm convinced that there's nothing wrong with me, my body. It has everything wrong with their chart and their sizing and all that. So I've decided I'm going to give another try, because I think there's a mistake. I think there's a mistake. It's just not possible. It's not me. It's their chart. It's their chart. So it just show you how tenacious I am. I'm not giving up. I'm not not changing. They need to change their sizing thing. The second thing that illustrates my tenacity, or my husband called obsessive compulsive disorder, is so you know that I'm doing this 10,000 steps thing every day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other night, it was I crossed to 11,000 something. But since we're 11,300 something, I thought we're just really close to 12,000. So let's make it 12,000. And I think it was something like close to midnight. And I start pacing inside of my house, and I don't know, there's something wrong with my watch, because it's not counting the steps, because I don't know, maybe it's too tiny steps. So I decided to go out in the middle of the night in pajamas and just do a walk around the block, and then to meet that 12,000 marks. So I'm pleased to announce that I reached the 12,000, which is 2,000 above the target. And my husband was like, it's midnight. You're in your pajamas.
And you walked around the block. And was this during Halloween? I'm just saying.
Pajamas,
midnight.
I think it was just the day before Halloween. I can't remember when it was. That's not important.
I see.
What's important is my tenacity, my persistence. So I like to, I like you all to acknowledge my tenacity, and this something to
totally acknowledge.
It's something to be applauded for. It's
right.
We
applaud you. And we look forward to the picture of you in your tennis outfit when they finally get it right.
That's it.
Yes. And I will note, for those who are really, really worried about Virginia walking around in the snow, she's in Australia, folks. Remember that they are going into summer, even though here in the US and Canada and everybody, north of that line are going into winter. So she was not out there freezing her tootsies off, I hope.
Although I didn't think about this through, because if you watch the previous episode, you know about my phobia about snakes. And it happens that I live in national park.
So you went outside in your pajamas where there might have been snakes in Australia in summer? Okay, wow.
Okay, I didn't
we are really irrelevant.
Okay, all right. So CJ, your turn.
Quick, CJ, save us.
I'm really dealing with a lot of mismatched socks. It's bumming me out. I don't know what is happening. I keep buying socks that have pairs. I keep washing socks, and the washing machine and dryer continually eat the socks.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going. It is like a bottomless pit of socks being eaten. And then I don't see a return on my investment in any way, shape, or form. So I have a big basket full of socks that have no matches, and I'm thoroughly annoyed. I don't know what to do about it. There is no solution.
sad.
This is also my dilemma. I don't know. This is a mystery. So the solution is
I
to
don't want
buy-
anyone. Yeah, I don't want a solution. I've decided there is no solution.
There is one.
I
If
just
you
want to
buy
whine about it.
all the same color, and then,
Oh.
and then
There you go. That is a solution. I could buy all of the same color and it wouldn't matter, right?
Yep.
And yet I have not done that. Ah, dang it.
We did that for my sons for years, where it was all the same size, white Hanes socks, and that way they never fought over them, and they never had to think beyond grab 2 white socks, put them on, and disappear.
This is brilliant.
See?
It
That's
does solve the
brilliant.
problem.
Just ask us. We save the world. We
Mhm.
solve all the essential matters,
Right?
and just keep listening to us. You know, you are in the
Okay.
right place. You're in the right place.
Thank you. I appreciate your wisdom. Thank
Yeah.
you for that.
No
So
worries.
much.
All right, folks. Well, wherever you are and whatever you're celebrating, have wonderful, wonderful holidays. We will be skipping next week, as it is the 25th and 26th, and we will all be spending time with our families and doing some of those kinds of things. So next week there won't be a show, but we will be back here on New Year's Day with a wonderful new guest, and we're going to be kicking the season off talking about plotting. So we've got some really good things lined up there, and we can't wait to see you again for that show. So feel free to go back and listen to our other episodes if you're missing the sounds of our dulcet voices. And otherwise, thank you so much for joining us. You can find the show and the show notes at www.elantumdigital.com and follow the podcast on YouTube or your favorite podcast distributor. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and leave us a review. See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.